appear as cold as ice, but he's still Bond. James Bond. He's got the guns, gadgets.
This is where our most cutting-edge technology is.
And, of course, the girls.
Yeah, I think I got the thrust of it.
Celebrating his 40th anniversary on the silver screen, the impeccably dressed British super agent is back. And just like the very first Bond, Die Another Day will leave you
Shaken, not stirred.
The 20th Bond film has everything you've come to expect from the genre, and possibly more.
I've seen all 19 at least 2 or 3 times, and every element of this movie is going to top them all.
007 is in North Korea chasing a corrupt army officer running guns for diamonds. Fight ends, Bond is captured and betrayed.
He comes out of this, he's in a prisoner exchange, and finds that everyone in the intelligence community, notably his own boss and the Americans, don't want to have anything to do with him.
They have him as a renegade. He's outside the shop, the firm. He's on the run. He's a loose cannon. He's lost his identity.
He's a 00. He'll light the fuse on any explosive situation and be a danger to himself and others. I think he's a blunt instrument whose primary method is to provoke and confront.
The Diamond Trail brings Bond back into the spy game.
Lucky I'm on the outside, then.
Well, it seems you've become useful again.
And to a charismatic entrepreneur.
After an entrance like that, you can't be surprised you're being called a self-publicizing adrenaline junkie, can you?
I'd prefer the term adventurer.
With a new Bond girl by his side.
I'm a girl that just doesn't like to get tied down.
Another one at his throat.
Sex for dinner, death for breakfast. Well, it's not going to work with me.
And a gadget guy who gives him little respect.
You're cleverer than you look.
Still better than looking cleverer than you are.
Bond duels with the villains with swords, cars, and ultimately a satellite with the power of the sun.
The Western spy runs, but he cannot hide.
The conclusion? You'll just have to wait and see. But it's classic Bond.
For the Bond aficionado, I think this is going to be a feast.
It's a feast that, like all Bond films, includes stunning stunts and dramatic digital special effects. Action is the heart of Bond, and Die Another Day is filled with it.
It's this unstoppable machine. You're looking over your shoulder, and the thing blows up there, and that goes here, and this goes there, and you run over there.
When it comes to effects in this Bond movie, there's never a dull moment. I could use a little help here!
You put your life on the line. You hope the rig doesn't pack up and get your ass burnt by a huge fireball. So there is a sense of danger.
Avoiding accidents is Chris Corbold's job. Testing explosions for weeks and weeks.
Every time we do it, we video it. We have markers out to show how far the debris goes.
That doesn't prevent all injuries. Halle Berry had an eye operation to remove a piece of debris from a smoke grenade. And after performing a stunt like this, Bond himself hurt his knee. Computer-generated graphics have gotten so good, risking injury might not be necessary. And this installment of 007 relies more on CG than any of its predecessors.
A lot of what we're doing is enhancements to special effects or to stunt shots where we're making something possible that practically would be very difficult.
Like putting flames on the back of this dragster, or have this ray from a satellite gun be this powerful. The special effects team is also responsible for the aftermarket extras on the Bond cars. And that suave super spy, well, he's driven his fair share of them over the years. A DB5 in Goldfinger, an amphibious Lotus Esprit in The Spy Who Loved Me, a racy Citroën in For Your Eyes Only, and in Die Another Day, he's back with an updated car he drove 15 years ago. This is 007's newest ride, an Aston Martin V12 Vanquish, fully loaded for the smoothest spy in the world.
The Aston is a glorious machine.
Powered by a V12 engine, it can go from 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. Four-wheel drive and spiked tires make driving like this possible.
We've got a couple of 180-degree turns in it, got a big 1500-degree spin out, lots of broad power slide sideways, and again we've had all these cars built by the special effects who've done an incredible job. They've built them all four-wheel drive purely for this.
But speed isn't the only extra that comes with this Martin. The engine doesn't sit in its usual spot.
Leaving all of this space free for the weaponry and everything else.
The Bond car has a full arsenal, including 2 retractable shotguns and an ejector seat to flip Bond out of any sticky situation.
Here we have the ultimate technologically advanced vehicle in the Aston Martin connected with James Bond, with the Vanquish. Then we've got the ultimate expression of performance and style with the XKR being driven by one of the villains.
Zhao's Jag is as dangerous as it is cool. Firepower comes from a Gatling gun mounted behind the driver and passenger seats. A concealed door-mounted rocket launchers, plus a few other tricks in the chassis. And let's not leave this beauty out. Every successful Bond has a magnificent babe. Halle Berry is the force behind the wheel of this limited edition 007 Ford Thunderbird. Its coral exterior matches this bikini.
I hate that I didn't get to drive it that much. I only got to drive it one day. Really? But it was cute.
Ford made 700 just like it. If you're lucky enough to get one, you'll find the limited edition number on a plate right inside the glove compartment. Now that's enough to get anyone's motor running. Bond's his name, but he's nothing without his gadgets. We'll introduce you to the man who outfits the world's most capable spy. And later, we sit down with the ultimate Bond babe, Halle Berry. Skill and a set of tools on the cutting edge. But when it comes to outfitting Bond with the coolest toys in the spy business, nobody does it better than Q.
So, this is where they keep the old relics in, eh?
I'll have you know, this is where our most cutting-edge technology is developed.
Point taken.
Without gadgets, Bond is, well, just another guy.
Where is this cutting-edge stuff?
I'm trying to get to it.
And Q is the innovator, creating things like the machine guns mounted on Bond's car.
Why don't you acquaint yourself with the manual? Should be able to shoot through that in a couple of hours.
Or the ring that reduces bulletproof glass to shards.
Twist so, voila.
John Cleese is now Q.
You know, you're cleverer than you look.
Still better than looking cleverer than you are.
He's the genius who makes Bond dangerous, though he does it begrudgingly.
Q's attitude is don't damage the gadgets. And if it means you're going to get killed, well, preferably don't damage the gadgets anyway.
I want to introduce you to the young fellow I'm grooming to follow me.
Cleese was R, the real Q's assistant, but following the death of actor Desmond Llewellyn, the Q in all but 2 James Bond adventures, Cleese's character was promoted and moved up the alphabet.
If you're Q, does that make him R?
Ah, yes, the legendary 007 wit. Or at least half of it. It seemed a little strange that Desmond wasn't here, because having played his assistant and having had the most wonderful conversations with him, because he was not just a lovely guy, he told wonderful stories. And I kept sort of thinking, where is he?
You're here to do what I tell you.
But of course.
Cleese is careful to pay homage to the character Desmond shaped. Even the old gadgets he created are remembered.
And I said, why don't we fill one of these rooms with all the gadgets from old Bond movies? There's the jetpack from Thunderball.
Does this still work?
And it was to be viewed more as a kind of relic room where all the gadgets were just thrown in the corner and never used again.
Something longtime fans like Judi Dench, the actress who played M, will get a kick out of.
I think that seeing all those amazing gadgets and wonderful things that, you know, Q's whole box of secrets and things, it's a glorious boy's world, which I think a lot of girls enjoy too.
Now, all the gadgets in Q's room are real props from classic Bond films. They're stored all 40 years' worth in a warehouse for safekeeping, except for a few that have made their way into the collections of a few Bond enthusiasts. It began as a childhood hobby.
This was the Instamatic camera that became a hand pistol.
It's now a full-blown obsession for collector Alan Stevenson, a Bond fan since age 7.
Even at that age, there was a certain kind of mystique to it that I was already kind of latching into, like the whole, you know, secret agent thing, tuxedo.
His collection, roughly 6,000 pieces.
People are always really interested in this.
Punctuated by gems like this gilded replica from the man with the golden gun.
I did not hire you to interfere in my affairs.
The gun's sidekick on display, the wrist gun, a la Roger Moore's Bond in Moonraker.
It's activated by nerve impulses from the wrist muscles.
Like this?
The dual air-tanked rebreather came to Bond's rescue in Thunderball.
I don't know which side goes in your mouth, but hold it.
And the Ericsson concept phone moonlights as a remote control in Tomorrow Never Dies.
1, 2.
Just how much time does our Bond aficionado devote to his passion?
Let's just say unhealthy amounts. How about that? It's like, got a limited social life.
Even in Alan's little Bond world, he takes the good with the not so good.
This is like a $500 beer can.
A marketing miss, but even it gets squashed by the ultimate in kitsch.
There's a whole series of these plates. There's like 6 of them from the Franklin Mint.
And for the secret agent wannabe in all of us?
This is the James Bond 007 bodybuilder kit.
And even though he's all grown up, Alan still embraces his inner Bond.
James Bond saved the world with this, and now I've got one.
Now, you might think all this gadget stuff is just crazy imagination, but people actually study Bond films to come up with real-world ideas. Deflecting bullets. Escaping behind smoke screens.
Activate.
Spewing oil. Think this urban assault vehicle is straight up 007, the brainchild of special effects gurus? Well, think again. This is the U.S. Army.
Engineers sat down and watched Goldfinger and Tomorrow Never Dies and some of the other Bond films to create gadgets for this vehicle, like the electrified door handles or the bulletproof windscreens or the smoke screen.
Their homework? Pick apart 007 and come up with something innovative to move the troops. Not a slick two-seater, but this, an urban assault vehicle that releases road tax, grenades, lasers, and can see in the dark, spinning movie magic into the real deal.
Bond films really embrace technology, and James Bond wrapped himself in sort of this almost magical cloak of technology, and his gadgets were like a King Arthur's sword.
It's not just the gadgets that inspire invention, but the Bond name itself. The 007 trademark peppers the U.S. trademark database. Products like the 007 paper shredder strive for the Bond traits of safety, secrecy, and confidence. Ideal for all your, paper disposal needs. The Bond stamp of approval knows no boundaries. The Smart Truck is still in its concept phase, and despite its weapons, the U.S. Army says that it's designed for peacekeeping missions. To James Bond, she's Jinx, and in her, he may have met his match.
Figured you could handle yourself.
Halle Berry describes what it's like to go toe-to-toe with 007.
This Friday from 7 a.m. till noon only, it's the early bird sale at Ray.
Bond are legendary, beautiful, sophisticated, dangerous. But the newest Bond girl brings something to the genre that no one has before.
Magnificent view.
There are Bond girls, and then there's Halle Berry.
Halle, you are the premier Bond girl. I knew that this would be big. I knew that it would be fabulous and great fun, but I had no idea how big and how much fun. My friends call me Jinx.
Berry caused such a splash on the set, there's already talk of the first Bond babe spin-off.
Jinx, you say?
Born on Friday the 13th.
You believe in bad luck?
Hardly. In fact, while Berry was shooting Bond, she won her first Oscar.
Timing is everything in life. She got the Oscar, and suddenly we have this gorgeous woman with us.
And one of the best things is that the very next day I had to fly back to London and resume working on Bond. And it was such a reality check for me, and it was a wonderful reality because I come back to a great movie and I got right back into what life of an actor is really all about, and it's about the work.
Why do you want to kill me?
Thought it was the humane thing to do.
It's no accident Berry landed this role. The movie makers wanted more than just a pretty face.
Who sent you?
Your mama. And she told me to tell you she's really disappointed in you.
We needed someone who looked great, who was very beautiful.
James.
You know, because that's what you have to be in this movie, these movies, but not an appendage. Somebody who really had some acting chops, someone who had some balls, so to speak, someone who could go head to head with this guy.
So I left you in an explosive situation. You're a big boy. Figured you could handle yourself.
But don't let that attitude fool you. Barry is as classy a Bond girl as any. This movie harkens back to all the classic Bonds.
Yeah.
And is it my imagination, or does your wardrobe do the same thing?
My wardrobe does.
It does?
Absolutely.
Tell me about some of
In
those.
many scenes. Well, you know, the bikini scene, you know, Ursula Andress, that is probably the biggest homage that I get to be a part of. And all of the bikini is different because, you know, we have evolved. I have a lycra suit where she didn't. It's still, you know, got the knife on it with the belt, and she's coming out of the water. So, you know, there's many of those throughout the movie, actually.
Can you give me one more, maybe?
Well, there's the gown. You know, I think women in the Bond movies has always been known for their beautiful, you know, evening wear and floor-length gowns and all that kind of glamour, and this one has that as well.
What was your favorite gadget in this movie, and why?
I think I love the ring that Pierce wore that could, you know, break the glass. I thought that was cool. And the car. And Aston Martin that was invisible. Let's not forget that.
Switch it off! I'm gonna be half the girl I used to be! So if there was one word to describe what it's like to be the most anticipated Bond girl ever,
it's off the schmackalaka, as my husband would say. It's off the schmackalaka.
Awesome. Looks like Barry has quite a legacy to uphold. And a new 40th anniversary special edition DVD set chronicles some of the most memorable moments of Bond. 007, the image of cool. The world's most powerful men want him.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Mr. Bond. Goodbye, Mr. Bond.
The world's most beautiful women want him too, only in a slightly different way.
Oh, James.
And now you can have him 7 different ways with this, the 007 Special Edition James Bond Collection.
Anything distinctive about him?
The DVD package contains a whopping 7 James Bond classics, allowing you to compare Bonds from Sean Connery to Pierce Brosnan.
You'll have to do better.
There are music videos from a handful of the films.
GoldenEye, I'll show him forever. It'll take forever to see what I've got.
And girls, girls, girls. From the moment Ursula Andress appeared in 1962's Dr. No, audiences haven't been able to get enough. And how could they with those unforgettable names?
Honey, Ryder.
My name is Pussy Galore.
Sure me.
On the top.
But don't forget those gadgets.
And this I'm particularly proud of.
The James Bond collection contains a segment devoted to Bond gadgets new and old.
Excellent. Just the thing for unwinding after a rough day at the office.
From the Walter PPK to the cell phones that drive your car digitally, the James Bond collection shows you just how far technology has come. And finally, you'll get to revel in those classic lines.
Bond. James Bond.
James Bond, the Anniversary Collection, is a cut above the rest. James Bond has become quite an icon, but who do you think was the best Bond? Sean Connery, Roger Moore, or Pierce Brosnan? Go to techlive.com to cast your vote. No matter which Bond you love, there's a timepiece for you. Commemorating 40 years and 20 movies of 007, the Swiss watchmaker unveiled a different swatch for each flick.
If you take a look at the particular movie, what is it about that movie that's special that we can present in a particular watch?
From the turnover style of Die Another Day, time on the face, gun barrel on the flip side, to the retro secret agent persona of Dr. No.
And it's got a really cool look that just makes me feel like I'm a Bond man walking down the street.
And the military style straight from Russia, with love, of course.
And you just want something that's very cool, fun, provocative, chic, young, hip.
Such as this gem, a la Octopussy.
Definitely is one to catch a lot of attention when you're out at a party.
Perfect for the secret agent in all of us. Ever wanted to be like James?
Anything can be penetrated with the proper tools.
We'll show you how you can.
Don't you just love the holidays?
Dreamt of being James Bond? Well, now you can. Adam Sessler takes us through Nightfire.
It's Bond at your fingertips.
gizmos, the exotic location, and the women.
With game controller in hand, you yourself can enter the Bond universe in 007 Nightfire.
Here you go, James.
See how that works? I love pretend.
Nightfire's developers really wanted Bond authenticity. On a break from shooting Die Another Day, the star's face was laser scanned for Nightfire.
What we get is an incredibly precise model of Pierce Brosnan's head over 250,000 data points, and we use that to create our character in the game.
Bond's Aston Martin V12 is here too, but the movie ties stop there.
We really like the flexibility that having our own custom story gives us, and then we work really closely with writers and MGM to make sure that we build a wonderful Bond story around that and let them play off each other.
But they'll have the whole building locked down by now.
Anything can be penetrated with the proper tools.
You can set off on 12 different action-packed missions, from the Austrian Alps to outer space. In fact, most of the plots pay homage to classic Bond movies.
You can actually unlock Knick Knack or Mayday or Odd Job and actually get to throw his hat as one of your secret weapons in the multiplayer sequences.
But if you really want to be like Bond, use your wits.
If you do something in a particularly clever way, we'll actually reward you for that.
But you look like you needed the rest.
I don't recall getting much rest at all, James.
Oh, if only this was real.
We hope you got the point. Now the only question is, will Bond return again to save the civilized world? We'll all have to just wait and see. I'm Chris Kosach. For all of us at Tech TV, thanks for watching and good night.